Okay guys, so in this video I'm going to be showing you a bunch of code editors, and then I'm going to be also showing you my favorite code editor that I'm going to be using throughout this course. And I would actually recommend you guys to use that if you are new, but if you have your own code editor, your own favorite one, then use that. There's nothing wrong with that. So first of all, the code editor that I like and I'm going to be using throughout this course is obviously the one that you see on the screen, the Visual Studio Code. So this is my favorite code editor. Why? Because simply it has a lot of features. It's really fast and it's really light, and simply it's also available for a bunch of OSs, as you can see right here on the screen. It's also available for Windows, Linux, and Mac, and I'm currently on Mac right now, so I have downloaded it for Mac, and I would recommend you guys to use this as well if you want to. But if you don't want to do this, then it's completely fine. If you have your own code editor, then you can simply use that. Now, one more thing I want to talk about is that I have seen a lot of people get confused on what's the difference between an IDE and a code editor, because basically they both do the same thing. You can write code on both of them, but there's a huge difference between both of them, and I'm going to be walking you guys through that. I'm going to be telling you what's the difference between those so you don't get confused anymore. And yeah, simple as that. So the first code editor that I already recommended you guys is vscode. Now another code editor that is pretty classic is called Notepad++, which is also a very good editor as well, and I've seen a lot of people use this. The hardcore guys are using this code editor, and then you can just simply click on the download tab here on the sidebar, and I'll give you a bunch of downloads, and I'm pretty sure it's also available for every operating system that is out there. And then another code editor is called phpstorm. It's also available for Windows. If you can just simply click on the Windows tab here, you can download it for Windows, for Mac OS, and for Linux as well. Now another code editor is called Sublime Text, which is also one of the best code editors out there. It's pretty cool, but one thing about phpstorm is that you have to actually pay a monthly subscription in order to use this app, but it can give you a 30 days free trial though. Now on VS Code you don't have to pay anything, and same with Code++, you don't have to pay no subscription or anything else like that. But and also the same thing for Sublime Text. I think you don't have to pay, or maybe you have to pay. I'm not really sure. I think you have to, yeah, you have to pay for Sublime Text as well. It also has some kind of subscription. But for VS Code, you don't have to pay anything. Now, coming to what's the difference between an IDE and a code editor. Now, the simplest way I can put this, or the simplest way I can explain it to you guys, is that think of it like think of IDE as a complete toolbox for a carpenter. Okay, now what does a toolbox has? A toolbox pretty much has everything inside it. Okay, it has every tool needed for the job. And an IDE can write code, can debug code, can build tools, and it has much more features in it, and it's really great for big projects. If you have a big project on your hand, you would usually use an IDE for that. Now coming to code editor, which is VS Code here, or Node++ or Sublime Text. Now coming to a code editor, it's like a basic tool. Think of it as a hammer. It can only do one job. Okay, so code editor is for writing and editing your code. It's simple and quick though, which makes it perfect for smaller projects, and also perfect if you have a weaker machine. I would simply say that if you have a weak PC, then you can just simply use a code editor instead of an IDE. But if you have a strong machine, if you're like on Mac or something like that, then I would actually recommend you to use an IDE. So this is an IDE, the Visual Studio, only the Visual Studio. There's no code on it, so if you attach code, then that would become a code editor. But simply Visual Studio is an IDE, and there's lots of IDEs out there. So like, let's just say IDE, simply type in IDE and you will get a bunch of these. So IDE software, and yeah, there it goes. You can see there's lots of it. I've also used NetBeans as well. It's pretty good for Java, and then Visual Studio, Atom. I've also used this Eclipse, Xcode. Xcode is pretty heavy though. It's like, I don't know, like 12 to 13 GBs or something like that. So there's that, and then Ruby Mine. So these are IDEs. But if you go with code editors, then you will get these. So yeah, there it goes. You can see there's lots of code editor. There's brackets and Atom and Bluefish and all that stuff. So yeah, this is it for this video, and I hope you understand now what's the difference between an IDE and a code editor. But also, before I end this video, I just want to show you something. So let me open my Visual Studio Code here, and let me go to the settings here for you guys. I'm gonna recommend you a theme here. So whoops. So this is the theme that I'm using. Let me show it to you guys. There we go. It's called Material Theme Darker, and I would actually recommend you to use this if you want. But if you have your own favorite theme, then that's fine. You can use that. And if I click on this drop box, you can see I have a lot of themes here. And then I also have another theme for light mode. So this is for light mode, and I would actually also recommend you that as well. Whoops, there I go. There, that's the one. So it's called Light Modern, and I also have a lot of light themes as well. So yeah, if you want these, you can just simply have it. But I will also be commenting down a few extensions and also a few fonts and themes and stuff for you, and to install and use that on VSCode if you want to use vscode. So there's going to be that. Now let me show you my fonts. So this is my font that I'm using. It's called Menlo Monaco, and it's a very cool font. So I would actually recommend you guys to use that as well. Now another thing about VSCode is that it has lots of extensions. As you can see, I have a lot of extensions right here, and then you can also search for new ones. So I don't know if my internet is kind of fast. Yeah, it is. So yeah, if you just simply type in theme here, then you will have lots of themes here or any other extensions. The one that I'm going to be recommending you guys is called PHP. It's this one, and I want you to simply download this. It's called PHP by Divins or something like that. And I will actually recommend you guys to install this, and then I'm also gonna be putting a few more extensions and a few more fonts and themes inside the description box. So yeah, make sure to check those out, and I will see you guys on the next video.